Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of our weekly coaching webinar. Today, we're driving in and we're talking about one of my favorite topics, if not my favorite topic, which is sales funnels. And the reason I wanted to talk about sales funnels is that I have a few friends that this conversation's come up for the last week and a half. And in their businesses, every single one of the cases, them not having a sales funnel is what's absolutely crushing their ability to be able to make sales and to be able to grow and scale. And so beyond that, I've also been helping a couple other people that are friends of mine make acquisitions, acquire new companies. And the interesting thing is that they're able, with their ability to build sales funnels, to go into these organizations, acquire companies, and then radically increase the revenue and the profitability of those companies just because of the creation of automation and sales funnels into those companies or into those organizations that they currently don't have that automation. I am a firm believer that this is the secret sauce to everything. And one of my buddies said, I'm really diving into learning everything about sales because if I can sell, then I pretty much have a master skill that I can use to grow and scale every business. And I said, that might be the case. But the reality is, if you don't have automation and funnel knowledge behind that, then you are fighting an uphill battle to be able to win. And to give you an idea, he sells a $4,500 product, and his entire system right now, which is phenomenal, by the way, all has to do with going in a cold lead generation format, getting people in from a survey into a schedule, and then getting them on a schedule to present. He then does one pitch and then basically tries to close them on a $4,500 product, and then is obviously concerned that his ability to close those deals isn't as good as it used to be, because he used to have a product that really sold itself and now he doesn't. And so when we talked about it, I said, like, what are you doing? I mean, if you would come in and you would indoctrinate these people and start running emails and build trust and build credibility and build rapport and overcome these objections and show a demo of your product and answer these questions, if you did that before that consultation call, how much easier would that consultation call be? And he's like, dude, that's the whole call. I said, exactly. Why do the whole call on the call? Why not do your sales call before the sales call even occurs? Then you can do a quick sales call, and then it's mostly a question and answer to get people closed. And so I'm actually working with him to help him kind of create that in his business. And it's just mind-blowing of the difference that something like that can make in his process. Here at Credit Suite, we actually have the opposite problem. We founded Credit Suite based on what I'm going to show you today, a sales funnels. And the result is our salesmen got really bad at selling. To be honest with you, they became so reliant on our automation doing the selling for them that when they got a customer on the phone that did not know about us, had not seen our videos, that had not been in our funnel, they would immediately get the customer off the phone and send them an email with information about us to circle back. Like, they completely lost touch with how to sell because they were so used to our funnel and automation doing the selling for them. Then when you combine these two powerful things, you combine a sales funnel that automatically does a lot of the selling for you, and then at the same time, a good sales presentation and process, which we've talked about in the last few weeks. I've even introduced you to ours. Those two, that 1-2 punch, creates such a ridiculously powerful combination to help you really make more sales than you ever thought were imaginable. So that's exactly what I'm going to teach you today, is how to build a sales funnel. And I'll give you a little bit of history and a little bit of insight of why this works for you, how this could work. So I went from owning a mortgage company where my job was very easy. This was the height of the mortgage industry, where if I even told people I was a mortgage broker, they looked at it was like an envious type of conversation. It being a mortgage broker, a real estate agent, the height of the mortgage industry is like where everybody wanted to be, because that was the hottest place to be. And it was interesting because I went from that to owning a consumer credit repair business. So what I learned about credit repair is this: nobody wants to fix their credit. People only want to get a mortgage. They only want to get a car loan, and they have to fix their credit to get it. So I walked into these two different worlds. One world was where everybody wanted what I have, and just the fact that I offered it, I'm not going to say rock star, but to give you kind of a relative idea, put you into kind of rock star status just because you even dealt with that product. Then I went to a product that nobody wanted anything to do with. Even the fact that I was associated with it lost me credibility in a lot of cases. The customer didn't even want what I had. They needed to get it in order to get what they really wanted, which was a car and a mortgage. It was a night and day difference. And that was the world where I learned sales funnels. And what happened to me was this: I would get on a sales call, and I would try to make a sales call, and I would fight this uphill battle because people didn't think credit repair worked, and they didn't like credit repair, and it had a dirty association with it. And so it was this uphill battle of overcoming all these objections on that sales call. And then finally, I kind of thought, one day, you know what? I'll show you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to teach you exactly why this does work. I'm going to teach you exactly why this actually works. And I started to write my first few emails, and they were about, hey, here's how the credit score works, and here's how the Fair Credit Reporting Act works. And the Fair Credit Reporting Act gives you these rights to be able to dispute this information and to be able to get it fixed on your credit report. It's the creditor's responsibility to make sure that that information is not accurate, not yours. And here's some actual results of what happens. And these other laws actually work to help you here as well. And and then before I got into it, I was just in so deep. I kept thinking about all the information that these customers wanted to know, needed to know. I started paying attention on sales calls to every question that was asked. And I started thinking, and every time I would get off a sales call, I would write down, here's 5 things that were asked. Here's 5 questions. Here's 5 objections. Here's the things that people that are on these calls want to actually know. And then what would happen is I would then, as I had time, write an email about that. Hey, people wanted to know why credit repair works. So I would do an email and say, here's why credit repair works. There's a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. It says that, everything must be 100% accurate, verifiable, and timely to be on your credit report. Most stuff doesn't meet that requirement. And when disputed properly, it gets deleted from the credit report. And then the people would say, well, hey, how do I get my credit scores to go up? Well, they didn't understand how FICO worked. So I would do an email and say, hey, look, FICO is broken into these 5 components. And then I would do 5 emails, one on each one component, explain how it was and what it worked, or how it worked and what they could do to raise the scores. And I just started to build the sequence. And I didn't know other people were doing it out there. I didn't know what funnels were. I didn't know anything. I just knew that I had a lot of resistance on phone calls, that if I could get people to get that information on the phone call before the phone call, that it would make the phone call a lot easier. Then about 6 months in, something interesting started to happen. People started to call in like they always did before, but this time they would make a statement like this: hey, I get your emails. And I would say, okay, and I would put my gear on and ready for battle to fight the fight, on that call. And they say, I just have a few questions for you. And then they would ask a few questions, and I would answer a few questions, and then they'd say, okay, well, I'm ready to get started. And it blew me away. I never experienced anything like this before. It went from these uphill sales battles that I was trying to wage a war and trying to overcome objections and trying to learn better how to sell and do all these things. And then in the end, all these calls started coming in where people just wanted to ask questions. And then I answered the questions, and then they were ready to enroll. And it happened again and again and again. And all of a sudden, it became the way that we did business, meaning every lead that came in went into the beginning of this funnel. The funnel explained what we did, how credit repair worked, why it worked, the things that you could do to be able to improve some of your own. It just became educational. And then sure enough, the people that would get on the phone with us were already pre-sold. Now, why did all that happen? It happened because of this. Whether I knew it or not, I was building trust. I was building credibility. I was building rapport. I was establishing myself as a credible expert in my field. All these things were happened by this email sequence. These people who had a genuine need to fix their credit, to get a home loan, to get a car loan, came to me, and all of a sudden they started getting emails, and they had never seen anything like it before either. All of a sudden, something they needed to have their credit fixed to get a home, all of a sudden they started having somebody teach them exactly how they could have what they wanted. All of a sudden they started to have this glimmer of hope. They started to hear from somebody that understood the problem they were facing, somebody that actually understood that to them it seemed like an uphill battle, but the battle could be fought and won if you did it the right way. Somebody that tried to explain the exact right way to do it, that explained how the law was on their side and how the score broke down and how you could actually manipulate legally in a good way the credit score to be able to get your scores to a point where you could qualify. And slowly but surely, they started to trust me. They started to like me because I asked for nothing in return. I just gave them information to help them get to their goal. And then when they called in, they were ready to take action. Their pain became so much, they were ready to take action, and they had some choices. They could go online and they could look somebody up online and go with somebody they never knew, or they could come in and they could actually go with the person that taught them at that point most of the things that they had known about credit. And that's exactly what they did. That's what sales funnels ultimately do. Sales funnels, in large part, replace a sales presentation because everything that takes place on a sales presentation should really take place in a sales funnel before the sales presentation ever takes place. If your customers always ask you the same 10 questions, have the same 5 objections, need to know 7 things that if you wish they knew that going into the call, they'd buy, if they had all that information before the call ever took place, the call becomes extremely easy because all you're doing there is answering a few trailing questions they may have. You've already built trust, you've already built credibility, you've already built rapport. They've already decided to work with you. They've already decided you're the knowledgeable expert that they want to be able to help them. So now all that's left is for them to get a few questions answered to understand better the process, and then they're ready to go. That's what sales funnels ultimately do, but it's well more than that. When you screw up the sale, like many people do, hand raised, myself included, sales funnels are your safety net. It's like walking a high wire with a net that if you fall off, no big deal. You fall into the net, you bounce a few times, you go climb the ladder back up, and you go do it again. That's exactly what a sales funnel does. If you completely screw up the presentation, then you know what? Your customers are going to continue to get those emails. They're going to continue to see you as an expert. They're going to continue to know that you're the right obvious choice. They're going to continue to build trust, credibility, and rapport. And chances are exceptional that they're going to give you another chance. They're going to give you another bite at the apple. They're going to give you a chance to basically come in and to be able to buy with them again. And so sales funnels have a lot of different benefits on top of the fact that it just maintains customers as well. So if we look at a buying cycle, and I have a lot of graphics for this, and I'm going to see if I can actually pull this up in my pictures. But if you actually look at a buying cycle has different phases. And I can tell you that it's different. Everybody that shows a buying cycle in a graphic has different images for this. You know, and they have different stages. Some of them have 3 stages. Some of them have 4 stages. Some of them don't have, you know, or only have, usually it's 3 or 4 stages that they have. But they're all similar to the fact that a buying cycle has different stages that you can come into that people are into at any given time. And so let's look at, let me see if I can find one of my favorites here. It makes it really simple, and let me see if I can find that here. This is one of my favorite graphics on this topic. So if we look at a buying cycle here, then what we see is that in this example, there's 3 different phases. People go from being interested in what you have to researching to then a purchase. And again, sometimes there's 3, there's 5, 4, there's 5. Everybody classifies this a little bit different. I'll classify this in the example that I just gave you. Let's say somebody wants to fix their credit. They come in, they try to get a mortgage. The mortgage broker says your credit doesn't qualify. You really need to work with somebody to help fix your credit. They immediately now have an interest because now they have a need for what you're selling. The next stage is they move into the research phase. This is where they start doing research. This is when they go onto Google. And nowadays we see they go everywhere. They go to social media, they go to Google, they go to your website, they go look at your Trustpilot rating, they go all these different places. They start researching the best option for them, and then they go in to make a purchase. The problem with all marketing as it exists today is that everybody pursues this group right here, the people that are in the purchase stage. Why wouldn't you? You're not going to want to go spend a bunch of ad spend on people that are just interested and not ready to buy. You want buyers, right? You don't want what are called in the car industry tire kickers that are just out looking around. You want the people ready to buy. So everybody's going after the purchase stage. But what's interesting about sales funnels is most people completely ignore interest in research phases. They just ignore them because why would you spend money to go after people that aren't ready to buy? Sales funnels get people here, right? Sales funnels are where the mortgage broker says, hey man, you can't qualify. You've got a 550, you need a 580 to get approved. But you know, you need to have your credit fixed. I got a guy that can help you here. He's got a free guide. You should grab this guide on 5 things you can do to raise your scores. They grab the guide and they're in the interested phase right now. That's it, they're in the interested phase. But now all of a sudden they start getting your emails. And somebody that's interested in this example I just gave you of fixing their credit is very interested about getting emails about the Fair Credit Reporting Act and how to dispute items on your credit report and how your FICO score works and the 7 things you could do to get your score raised the quickest, right? They're very interested in that. So now all of a sudden you're speaking to this audience that's interested, And then when they move into a research phase, it's a pretty short cycle because all they're doing is researching you, if they even do research at this point. Chances are good they even skip research phase and go right into purchasing with you because their interest, you already got them here and already did all the trust, the credibility, the rapport, all that building was already done. So you eliminated their need to research other companies or even your company for that matter. The worst case, maybe they'll research you. But why do you research a company? You research them to make sure they're credible, right? If somebody's delivering all that content to you, you're probably not even going to research to see if they're credible. I mean, that's the way I buy. Straight up, it's the way that I buy. I can tell you products I spent $2,000 to $10,000 with that I never looked at the reviews of the company ever. And the reason is because they sent me emails and like I know that they know what they're talking about, and they gave me a lot of free education and all these things. They built so much credibility and rapport. I never even needed to research to begin with. I moved right into purchase stage. So sales funnels are flipping brilliant because you're getting the people in 2/3 of the buying cycle that most people completely ignore. And if you do it right and you get to people with that first third, they skip the second third, they move right to a purchase, and you are the obvious choice. There is no other choice. You are the one. And that's when everything in your business gets turned upside down on its head. Because all of a sudden, what now happens is now people come in and are wanting to do business with you. You're not convincing them on why they should do business with you. And everything is different at that point. When you are the one that is being sought out and people go out and seek you, is a whole different sales experience than trying to convince somebody on why they should do business with you. You have to completely screw that up to lose a sale when somebody's banging down your door to try to get to you to buy your product and service. And I don't mean that as an exaggeration. Like, they will literally bang down your door. They will show up at your office. They will pursue you on social media. They will hunt you down. I get it all the time. I get people that Facebook message me, people that LinkedIn, people that show up at our office. Everybody wants to talk to me and wants to buy what we have because I've done this the right way. That's what sales funnels do. And when you do it the right way, you can have a salesperson do very little effort and still make a tremendous amount of sales because the customers are coming through and they're going into these phases, in the buying cycle. They're knowing who you are, what you do, trust, credibility, rapport is built. Then they move into purchase stage and you are the obvious choice. That's what sales funnels do. That's why they're effective. And this is why if you know how to do this one skill, as I'm going to teach you, then inevitably what happens is you could sell just about anything to just about anyone because automation's doing most of the heavy lifting for you. And then all you have to do is tee up a salesperson to close the deal when they're far enough into your actual email funnel and sequence. So that being said, let me introduce you to an indoctrination sequence. An indoctrination sequence is the beginning part of your funnel. An indoctrination sequence is how you indoctrinate people to doing business with you. This is how you do business. This is who you are. This is who your company is. This is what you stand for. That's not what all the emails you put in there. Okay, one of the biggest mistakes anybody makes marketing is they think that people give two craps about them. They don't. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares about Credit Suite. Nobody cares about our products and services. Nobody cares about any of that crap. All they care about is what's in it for them. It's the most important thing you need to know about. It's all people care about. What does what you do for me? How does it help me? So every email you write needs to have that same tone. It's not, hey man, we're awesome because we do this and we do it better than everybody else. We're number one. We're number one. We're the best. We all hear this language. They don't care about it. What they care about is here's a little bit of information you didn't know, and here's exactly what it will do to help you. And almost all of your emails should follow that. Here's some education that you don't know, and here's how it's going to help you. And what's going to happen is once you do this in an indoctrination sequence, you indoctrinate the lead, the subscriber, the prospect to understand that something from you has value. When I get an email from you, I get value. And that's what you want them to do. And then you're indoctrinating them to want to open your emails because every time they do, it's a lot of value. Now, if you create an email that's all wording like I used to do in the past, that's a lot of work. They're not indoctrinating them to a good experience. You are indoctrinating them that this could be more pain than pleasure. So this is why a lot of ours are now converted to emails, but it's all that same tone. So let's take a look. There's a lot of things in our funnel. I shouldn't even be in here, by the way. Do not tell Alex, our marketing manager, that I was here. And Alex, if you're watching this, this was a very old webinar that was filmed in 2016. But I am here. And I don't know what half of this stuff does because I don't build these things anymore. But I do know the content because I have a large part in actually creating the content. And that's what I want to look over today. A lot of these automation things that we do here at Credit Suite, you'll do in due time down the road, but it's not stuff you need to get into now. So let me show you how these emails should look and how they should work. First of all, I'll tell you this is a pretty long email for us. Many of our emails are now extremely short, very easy to read. Click on a video, watch a 1-minute video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is one of the first emails that somebody gets. Now, our indoctrination sequence starts with a quiz. We ask them, how fundable is your business? People love that quiz. They just eat it up. So now we start with how fundable is your business, and we actually put them into different sequences based on their results of that quiz. I'm not trying to complicate things for you. I don't think you should make it complicated. I think you should make it simple. I just want to give you an idea of what can happen. So in our world, there's different buckets. There's the bucket where you want funding, you want a loan, you want a credit line, and you qualify. There's a bucket for I want a loan, I want a credit line, but I don't qualify. And there's a bucket for I want business credit. If you come in and your survey data and the questions you've answered show you want business credit, we put you into our business credit indoctrination sequence. If a funnel comes in and it's clear that you want financing, then we put you into our financing indoctrination sequence. If you want financing but you don't qualify, then we put you into another sequence that says, hey, here's what it takes to get funding, can't get it, but hey, business credit's awesome, and here's why. You don't have to make it complicated. I'm gonna show you how to make it simple. So here's our email, okay? So first of all, we give them a call to action right here. We want them to come into this webinar right away, okay? So we're giving them a call to action to come in and register for a webinar right away. Here's why. What we found in our world is webinars sell, and what we found is that when customers come into a webinar, then they get everything. They learn about why business credit's important, what business credit is, how it works, the steps to build business credit. Then they see a demo of our system and a full sales pitch. It's everything. It's like an hour and a half sales presentation. So if our salesperson gets that lead, it's their favorite lead because the person now knows what business credit is, knows how it works, knows the benefits it provides, knows the steps to build it, knows everything. So now they are as pre-sold as you can get. So we put that here as a call to action. Then here's the body. I wanted to say thanks for joining the Credit Suite family. You've already taken the first step to ultimate fundability and growth for your business. And the next few days, I'm going to send some very quick and easy steps to get started with seeing what's already reporting for your business. Then I will just email you occasionally with some quick and actionable tips. Here's your first quick action item. So here we go. So what we're basically saying to them is, hey, thanks to our family. Here is what you can expect from us. And that's what our welcome email says. Here is what you can expect from us from being a subscriber. And then no more about us. Let's get right to something you can actually use. Dun & Bradstreet will try to charge you thousands of dollars to get your DUNS number and activate your D&B credit profile. And this quick email will show you how to get both at no cost. Getting your DUNS number with D&B is the first step to take to get set up with D&B, and it's completely free if you use this link. We give an example of what the link looks like. Your DUNS number is how D&B and others locate your business in D&B's database. Many credit issuers won't even approve you for credit if you don't have this number, so it's very important you obtain it. Once you click this link, you can set up your DUNS number with D&B at no cost. It typically takes about 2 to 4 weeks, sometimes much faster to get your DUNS, and you can get credit with vendors that will give you credit reports to D&B. Once you have 3 accounts reporting, they'll give you that DUNS number, and that's going to help make your business more fundable. Click here to get it. P.S. Remember the special training. I want to make sure you remember this upcoming special training. Please take the next step together, register here, or let's take the next step together, register here. So a lot going on here. Let's talk about it. We start this email by saying, here's what you can expect from us by getting our emails. And then we're saying, we're going to give you actionable tips. Speaking of actionable tips, we're going to give you one right now. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to help you do something that has thousands of dollars of value to Dun & Bradstreet, and we're going to give it to you for free at this link. You follow the link. Here's what you get out of it. You get your DUNS number, and then here's how you activate your credit profile. Somebody gets this one email. They're like, okay, wow, I'm interested in building my business credit. You just told me this first step was to get set up with Dun & Bradstreet, and you gave me the link to go and do it. And if Dun & Bradstreet, I went to them, and if I try to get my DUNS number, you know what Dun & Bradstreet's going to do when you try to get your DUNS number? They're going to call you. They're going to email you. And you know what they're going to do in those calls and emails? They're going to try to sell you a bunch of crap you don't need for a lot of money. I know they'll do that because that's how they work. And so what happens now is that when they go to get their DUNS number, DMB is going to call them. And guess what DMB is going to try to do? They are going to try to charge you thousands of dollars just to get your credit profile activated with them. And now the customer's on the phone, and they're going, holy crap, man, I did tell you this was going to happen, and it's happening. These guys are trying to charge me thousands of dollars for something you just showed me how to get for free. And so now all of a sudden we've got tons of credibility because we gave them a first step to actually get the result they wanted. They came to us to build business credit. We gave them the first step to build business credit. We gave them an actionable way to get exactly what it is that they want. And they now know that our emails will provide value to them. Okay, so now let's come in and let's look at the chatbot. This is where we start getting them introduced, I believe, to Facebook Messenger. We will see what happens here. It's like a drum roll. Okay, a lot of entrepreneurs ask if they can qualify for a business loan. So we created our very own Credit Suite chatbot to help answer the question. Click here to chat with our bot to see how fundable you are right now. Once you click, you'll connect with us on Facebook Messenger. And through Messenger, our bot will ask you a few simple questions. And with each answer, more and more funding options become available. This is super easy, caps. Way for you to quickly uncover loans and credit lines you can get now without needing to spend a bunch of time or a phone call to find out. Click here to uncover the loan and credit options you have right now and converse with our newest family member, Credit Suite Bot. Warning, many entrepreneurs think they can't qualify for a loan when they really can. Our bot can very well get you pre-qualified funding if you can't. P.S. Don't forget our special training. Come to our webinar so we can sell you without even dedicating a salesperson. The salesperson can clean up and close the sale. That doesn't say that. For the most part, it does. So here we are. So what are we doing now? We are now getting another way to market to them. We are saying, come and find out if you can get a loan. Hey, you don't want to talk to people because we're in a generation where we don't want to talk to people anymore. We talk online. That's okay. People suck. You want to talk to our bot. We made the bot for you so you don't have to talk to people. And so now you can come in, and we even say that, right? Without needing to spend a bunch of time or a phone call to find out. We're even saying, look, we know you don't like to talk to people. People don't like to talk to people anymore. So now we're giving you an option not to talk to people and find out if you can get a loan. But what we're really doing here is we're getting them into Facebook Messenger. So they're on our Facebook Messenger list. And once they're on our Facebook Messenger list, now we can market to them on Facebook Messenger. So now we're not just relying on email. Our second email into the sequence, and you see email 3 because the first one was the quiz. Our second information email is designed to basically get them an answer they want, can I get funding, and converse with our bot, which gets them on a secondary list of Facebook Messenger that we can solicit a little bit later down the road. Now, what's going on there? Don't know. That was nice. Credit Suite Ball Guys. That's not, it's an email. Okay. Next thing we do is let's come back into delivering value again. So the next email that we're sending out, and then I'll take a look at the sequence so you can get an idea of how far apart these are spaced, and that'll help you a little bit here as well. Hey, did you know Experian will give you a failing business credit score indicating your business has a high risk of filing bankruptcy just because you have no credit reporting? Luckily, it's easy to see if you have a failing score with Experian now, and you can run this check at no cost. You never want to use the word free in an email because it gets you in the spam box. So I use no cost a lot. And by the way, we should look at subject lines here too. Here's the subject line: potential failing business credit score. Talk about, if you're interested in building business credit, imagine getting that subject line. You're going to open that. Okay, so luckily, okay, click here to run your free business search with Experian by entering your business name and state. Once you enter, one of 3 things is going to happen. No search results will pull up, meaning that you have nothing about they know nothing about your business. Your business name will pull up saying trade lines, see example image below, or your business name pulls up with no trade lines. This means you probably have a failing score. And then we show an example with us with trade lines. Please note, you do not need to buy credit monitoring. This search is only to see what Experian knows about you, and now without needing to pay for a report. Click here to run a free business search Experian. Now notice, we're not promoting a webinar. We don't want to continue to pound them on that exact same thing, right? But if you look at this email, look at what we're doing here. We're saying, hey, look, first of all, catchy subject line. You're interested in building business credit, failing business credit score. It's going to pull you right in. Now we're telling them something most people didn't know, and we're answering it with a question. Did you know this? Subconsciously, people automatically search for an answer. Like the minute you ask them a question, they immediately answer that in their head or say, oh, I don't know the answer to that. So you're now answering a question, creating what's called in psychology an open loop that they need closed, because you asked a question that they probably don't know the answer to. And then we're telling them basically, yes, they are doing this, but you can easily figure out how at no cost by going right here. And then you know what else we're saying? Hey, we're also coming in and saying, hey, guess what's going to happen? They're going to try to sell you crap you don't need. You don't need the crap. Don't need it. I'm giving it to you for free. You don't need the crap. This is a second email nearly in a row that we said the same thing to them. Hey, we're going to give you valuable stuff for free that these guys are going to try to sell you. And we're going to tell you the stuff that you don't need to buy to save you money. So we're building trust. We're building credibility. We're building rapport. We're teaching them things that they didn't know. They're able to do a free search here to all of a sudden see their own business and see that they don't have any trade lines with Experian to know that they need help, right? And then they're able to do this and bypass a cost that could inherently be passed to them if they went directly to the reporting agency. Can you imagine how much trust, credibility, and rapport these two emails alone build for somebody? Just these two. We gave goodwill, free things, free education, free knowledge. You're able to get your DUNS number for free. We told you how to activate your credit profile for free. We're teaching you in here now how to get set up with Experian for free. We're telling you the crap you don't need to buy that people are going to charge you for free. And you know what? We've asked for nothing. As a matter of fact, the only thing we've done beyond this is we've come in and actually asked them to attend a webinar, which, by the way, at this point, there's a pretty good chance that they're going to want to do. The next thing we do is we actually do something we forgot to do many times in the past, which is we actually now start talking to them a little bit about what we can do to help them. So now we come in and we have this thing say what we can do for you. One of the biggest questions we're asked is why Credit Suite? What sets us apart from the rest? And how can you benefit from us? Now, keep in mind, we're talking about us. This whole email is about us, what we can do for you. But see how we turned it around and made it about them? One of the biggest questions we asked is why us? What sets us apart? How can you benefit from us? Well, we help you do three things: improve your fundability, get business credit, qualify for loans. It's time to discover what makes Credit Suite unique and how you can get the most amount of business funds in the quickest time frame at the lowest rates possible. You see how even an email about us is all about them. It's time to discover how you can get the most out of amount of business funds in the quickest time and at the lowest rates possible. First of all, when I write emails now, I'm very conscious about the words me, us, very conscious. And almost everything, we, okay, I don't like any of those things unless it's like this: we help you, right? Like if I'm not saying that, I don't even use us. I don't like that in emails. It's all about you. I think you can tell how good an email is based on how many times you're using this word, you, okay? You, okay? It's all about you. And then we give them a video to come in and do that. And then, by the way, already know you're ready to improve your fundability, get business credit, and credit almost instantly. We'll schedule a consult with a business credit consult right below, and we'll get you started. So now we're saying, hey, look, maybe by now you know we're the obvious choice. And if that's the case, cool, then just go ahead and take the quick link and get in touch with us right now. So what we're doing here is we're spacing in a couple different kind of emails. We're spacing in what I call an easy win. That's what the D&B email is. That's what the Experian email is. These are easy wins. These are easy things. We're teaching them and asking them to take an easy action that gets them an immediate result that helps them towards their goal. Easy wins. Here's an easy win. Here's an easy win. Here's an easy win. Then we're starting to sprinkle in what we can do to help you. We're trying to help them link the two together. Now we want to get away from just coming in and talking about here's all the steps to succeed. Now we start sprinkling in how we can help them get there faster, okay? So let's go to the next one. Doubts and Christine webinar promo. We'll see what this is. We are going to pull up the subject line and see how sexy this subject line may be, okay? Contact first name. So we'll say Ty, having doubts about business credit. Now we are overcoming objections here. We understand that business credit and all its benefits can seem overwhelming and in some cases too good to be true. What we are doing right here is a very typical disarm of objection. So I was talking to a buddy of mine today and he said, man, he said, I suck at overcoming objections. And I'm like, it's not that you're really bad probably at overcoming objections. It's the fact that you're trying to do it all on the sales call and you shouldn't. The reason for a funnel is that you overcome objections before they ever get into the sales call. So now we're coming in and saying, hey, do you think business credit is too good to be true? We're getting in their head, and at this point, they're starting to get some easy wins. They're starting to get some success. They're starting to learn how we can help them. But that brings out objections. This won't work for me. I'm different than everybody else. This is too good to be true. So now what we do is we start answering these objections. We hear it a lot. Can I really get credit from business without harming my personal finances? I have bad credit and I can't get money for my business. Business credit sounds like a scam. Business credit's impossible to get without a personal guarantee. So now we are coming in and saying, yeah, we hear it all the time. The stuff you're objecting to, yeah, is this it? Is all this it? Is all this the stuff you're saying in your head? Does any of this sound familiar? And at this point, they're like, yeah, this is exactly what I think. This is exactly what I think. So we're speaking to them in their own language, which is getting into their head and addressing the objections. Now, how do we know these objections? Because we face them all the time. If you're on sales calls, you need to be monitoring, you need to be tracking every single question and objection you get, because those are their own emails. Every question, every objection should be an email to answer those questions and overcome that objection. That's going to make your sales presentation that much easier. Hey, the list could go on. Truth is, business credit's an amazing tool that your business can start leveraging today. In fact, we helped over 15,000 businesses like yours establish business credit for their EIN. One of our star clients, Christine, had decided, we got to change that. Have decided to sit down and reveal the exact steps she took to get over 500,000 in business credit and financing, all without personal guarantees and without risking your personal finances for going through inquiry or going through inquiries on her credit report. Click here to discover how she's been successful and how you can replicate the steps. So now what's coming in is we're saying, look, here's the deal. We get it. You probably think this is a scam. You probably think it doesn't work. You probably think you can't get credit without a guarantee. You probably have all these concerns, right? Well, here's somebody that succeeded. And like, if you want to learn exactly the success she had and then learn about how she did it so you can have the same results, then check here. So now we're even giving them a place to go to overcome those objections. And the place we go to is a webinar that has very, very, very good results for somebody that's like, or for somebody that's interested in building business credit. And now we come in with another 1-minute tip. I'm very big now on 1-minute tip videos because this gives a lot of powerful information in 1 minute, and it conditions people that they can get a lot of good information in a very short period of time from you. Remember, I'm trying to condition you. I'm trying to indoctrinate you that when you come into our funnel, you get tons of value, tons of stuff that would cost you money at no cost, tons of tips that will help you succeed with building your business credit, which is what you're trying to do, with very little action steps and very little time committed. So here we go. Here's a quick 1-minute video tip on how to start building business credit right away using vendors. The vendor tier is the first step to quickly and easily establish credit for your EIN and increasing your chances of getting cash credit, loans, and credit lines, okay? So now we're coming in here and we are then giving them a 1-minute video. That's it. Go watch it now. Talk soon. That's our whole email. Very short. P.S. One of our star clients, Christine, shares exactly how she got over 500,000 business credit, and we review how you can replicate her success here. So notice what we're doing. At this point, we are assuming that you didn't like the first one that we actually came up with. Okay, so we're actually coming in now and we are assuming that you probably don't like the actual first webinar that we sent. So we are actually coming in now and we are telling you to go check out another webinar instead. And let me show you why. And this is actually a misprint. I'm gonna start fixing these as I go. This is the vendor credit tier. And here's why. Check out what we're doing here. You're gonna love this. This is, I don't know, kind of genius and brilliant. I won't take credit for it at all. This is digital marketer, but I'll show you what we're doing. So notice that we said the vendor credit tier in quotes is the first step to quickly and establish business credit. Why do we do this? I'll show you why we do this. Check this out. This is something that's super cool that most people don't know that we're secretly doing behind the scenes. We're coming in here and I'm going to Google this vendor credit tier. And guess who comes up first? This is what's called position 0 in Google. Position 0 in Google is when somebody searches and they automatically pull up all of your information. What we are doing indirectly is creating our own language. Yeah, we went and bought vendorcredittier.com. We creating our own language here. And then in doing so, we're putting it on our social media. We're putting it in our emails. We're putting it in our webinars. We're putting it in our YouTube live streams. And why we're saying vendor credit tier again and again and again, vendor credit tier, vendor credit tier, vendor credit tier, is because if anybody goes in, we now dominate this search term. Now, here's what's interesting is that people have to figure this out because they're not even thinking about it. They can't compete because they don't know our own language. And by the time they realize what we're doing, we've already taken position 0. We've already dominated that space. So you can see here that if we come into this blog post, it's an elaborate blog post about what vendor credit tier is, how it works, videos, all the information about how it works, okay, on and on and on and on. So what we're ultimately doing is we're coming in and creating our own language here, and then we're exposing them to our own language, because if they go in and go, what's a vendor credit tier? Well, I don't know what vendor credit tier is. Well, let me go in and figure that out. Let me see what Google says. Vendor credit tier. Oh, credit suite. You see that? That's pretty freaking brilliant, right? Because that gives us tons of credibility. So we literally are coming into them, we're creating our own language, and then when we're creating language they don't understand because we invented it, we just made it up, then what they do is they go to Google to search it and they're finding us, which gives us tremendous amounts of credibility because we're the authority on it. Even Google sees us as the authority on it. Now that's a little hack that I'm giving you that is extremely valuable in what you do. As a matter of fact, we have, and I'll see if I can actually figure this out here. I'll see if I can pull this up. Let me see here, language. I'm going to see if I can pull up our guide. We even give out this free guide that teaches people, hey, let us give you the business credit terminology that exists. Let us actually give you a shortcut to the terminology that exists out there. I'm trying to see if I have this in a, here it is. This is our own language guide. So we literally created our own language guide. In order to get the language guide, in order to call any term what it is, we own the domain in 95% of these cases. So we went out, and what would happen is before we use a term, we make sure we can grab that domain. So for example, houseflipperfinancing.com, we own, right? Funbox Financing, we own. Artificial intelligence financing, we own. So we're coming in and creating our own language. We're then having our content team write content on these terms that makes them searchable. And then on top of that, we are then buying the domain, so we own all the real estate. Then we spread this like the wildfire. We just talk in these terms all the time. On all my webinars now, you can hear me say fleet credit tier, fleet credit tier, fleet credit tier, cash credit tier, cash credit tier, cash credit tier, because we're working on dominating the SEO space for these actual terms. So just a little hack of what the value you can get, and that's one of the interesting things that we're doing here in this funnel. So we come in here, check Equifax is our next one. Again, we went and did a 1-minute video where they could get a lot of information in 1 minute. Now we're coming back to that easy win email. So now we're saying Equifax commercial, give you a failing score if you don't have any. You can do a free search with Equifax, should be no cost search to not get us in spam. And then we're coming in and we're saying you get the added bonus of finding out how many accounts are reporting to Equifax. And then we're sharing that webinar again. So this is another easy win email. Email 8, easy win. And then we're back to that 1 minute. We're back to that 1 minute tip, a quick tip, just so you know that working with us is going to give you a quick tip. Okay, a lot of value in a short period of time. One of the main ways that we empower businesses to grow is through improving fundability. Here's a quick 1 minute video to show, make sure that your business is set up to be fundable or lendable. Click here to watch, and they can click here for that fundability tip. So you can see what's happening in our inbox sequence. It's a combination of easy wins. It's a combination of 1 minute videos. Okay, it's a combination of telling them who we are and what we do. Okay, and then here's that fundability quiz as well that tells them how fundable their business is. That helps us further segment that actual audience here. And then we get into, I think, one more webinar, and I'll show you the rest of the SendDoc sequence, and I'll give you a quick brief overlook into, and I'll give you a brief overlook or into this as well, okay? So yesterday you watched a video about making sure that your business is fundable. We developed a special quiz that you can use to find out how fundable your business is right now. In some ways you can improve it. Click here to take the fundability quiz, okay? And then on top of that, we then also come in here and do another 1-minute tip that I won't show you because you kind of get the idea by now. And then we come into a 12 ways to get credit lines webinar. So our goal is to get them into a webinar because a webinar over 60 to 90 minutes does the sale. And here we're saying you want a credit line for your business. Here's 12 credit lines you can get right now, even with challenge credit. Here's all the benefits you get in the webinar, and you can click here. So this is a nice combination of emails here. 1-minute videos that are 3 paragraphs in a 1-minute video. Really quick, easy wins like Equifax, Dun & Bradstreet, Experian that they can easily get into as well. Then we're coming in with more of what we do for them, which, by the way, this is not good enough. We are adding more of the what we can do for you in the indoctrination sequence. I have a bunch of emails they haven't yet put in here, but they need to spread in more of what we can do for them. This is very important, guys, because this is something we screwed up a long time. We didn't put enough in there about what we could do for them. We gave value and easy wins, and then we never really told them what we did for them. So now we come in and we do more of what we can do for you, and there should be more in here. When I get off this webinar, that's exactly what I'm going to do, is I'm going to talk to our team about adding more of those in here. Okay, and then we come in here and we come into another 1-minute tip video, another webinar. So we're exposing them to more webinars. Here's how we get them into our indoctrination sequence, or excuse me, our SMS. So we've already now taken a shot to get them on our Facebook Messenger list. This is the place where we get them into our SMS list to start getting actually getting text messages. Hey, I have something to let you in on that most of our subscribers don't know about. You can get 1 to 3 minute video tips on business growth, as well as getting financing and credit for your business through text once a week. Text tips to this number now to get your first text training tip. This is a great way to get quick espresso shots of highly valuable insight that can be digested at any time, anywhere. This training is exclusive to only a small group of members. Not all our subscribers are invited. So you can see what we're doing now in our indoctrination sequence. We've now got people on our email list. We've now got people on our Facebook Messenger list. I've got people on a text message list as well. And so now I have 3 different ways I can actually contact them for solicitations using those 3 different ways. Okay, another 1-minute tip here. And then let me see what I have. Here's a pain solution. More than likely, this could be send them back to us email. So I just want to give you a good idea of how these work so you can come in and duplicate the process. So here's one that says, hey, I know it's hard to run and grow a business, especially doing it without affecting your personal finances. When you need money to grow and take a business to the next level, it can be almost impossible to get the capital you need at the right rates. You can go to the bank, This is why we developed the Business Finance Suite. We help your business get capital it needs through increasing fundability, getting business credit and financing. Our advising team of finance will walk you through the proven step-by-step system. It's time to take the next step together. Schedule a time to talk now. We've done enough goodwill now that at this point, we're just coming in and we're adding in and we're sprinkling in some things to actually be able to get them into consultations, to get them entered, and to be able to get them with our actual sales team. And that's what we're doing at the end of this indoctrination sequence. And then here's that 7-word email. It's not 7 words, but that's what we call it. Hey, are you still interested in building business credit for your business? Let me know. And then a lot of people reply to this at this point, and they go right into our sales team. So now at this point, it's all about getting people into our sales team. That's our indoctrination sequence. It's a combination of a few different things. Emails that tell them about what we can do for them. Easy wins, like D&B, Equifax, Experian. And then a combination with 1-minute video, quick training tips. The bottom line is, when you're done with this, we've indoctrinated you that we are the experts in this field. We know a lot you don't know. We're willing to teach you, and if we're willing to do all this for free, imagine what it's like to work with us. We've told you a little bit about us, what we do, and how we can help you. We've come in and given you a lot of information you did not have before you became a subscriber. At this point, you could have now got your DUNS number set up and checked D&B. You could have checked your Equifax. You could have checked your Experian. So there's a lot of things at this point that have happened to make sure that you're going to want to see our next emails. Now, after the fact, they start going into any of these number of maintenance sequence emails, okay? And all these are just maintenance emails. And all this is a combination of much the same. It's just education, education, education. Here's an email on what business credit is. And I'll open a few of these for you to see what the maintenance sequence looks like. So you can kind of see this will go on indefinitely. I think ours goes on now for 5 years. Okay, so here's a little bit about what Dun & Bradstreet or what business credit is, the benefits it provides. It's a long copy email. Okay, here's a short copy email with just a quick video link to Dun & Bradstreet to learn more about Dun & Bradstreet. Very short email, comes through and teaches you everything you need to know about Dun & Bradstreet in 11 minutes, okay? So it's a combination of things like this. This is an article. So now we're linking to Entrepreneur. We're giving business credit credibility by linking. This is called a newsjacker email, newsjacker. So what we're ultimately doing is we're coming in here and we are basically giving them access to legitimate, credible. Oh, that's not gonna work. It never works. We're giving them access to. I can't. These links drive me crazy in Infusionsoft. I can't get to the actual URL link. We're giving them articles that give us credibility because other people are talking about this. So in this case, the ABC is a business credit. If Entrepreneur is talking about business credit, then you know it's a big deal, which by the way, we started to write to Entrepreneur now. So that's another thing we need to get in here is our own articles that we've written for Entrepreneur, because talk about giving you credibility, that's going to give you a bunch of credibility as well. So these are newsjacker emails here, okay? These are called benefit emails. Benefit emails educate the customer about the actual, about something that we do for them, and then explain to them that we do that for them, okay? Hey, credit issuers, suppliers, they all look at a 411 listing. They look to see if you're listed with 411 to see if they should approve you. There's a way to shortcut the process. Here's what you can do. Here's the steps to take. Remember, a free 411 listing is just one of the many benefits of working with us. We pay the monthly charge so you don't have to. So this is called a benefit email. And these are basically created just to tell them about something and then explain that by working with us, that actually becomes a benefit. So we give them, I like these emails because it's a way of us giving you valuable information and an easy win, but then us also coming in and us also being able to come in and then explain that with our program, you're going to get that. So it's kind of like selling you on our program, but giving you information as well. Consultation email, call to action, get them into a consultation. Another short video like you saw about Dun & Bradstreet, webinar, newsjacker from Wall Street Journal, where Wall Street Journal's talking about business credit, how to easily get a loan video, see actual business credit approvals, credibility. Okay, so you can see here that we've got these links to QuickBooks, to Wall Street Journal, these newsjacker emails. We've got these links to these short videos in here too, okay? And then we have longer content email. We're inviting them to webinars. We're exposing them to 100 different ways to get content, so then that way they can consume it the way they consume it. So hey, one of the most common asked questions, does this actually work, or has anyone ever tried this? In all humbleness, the Business Finance Suite has one of the highest success rates and fastest turnaround to obtain funding you need for your business. But don't just take it for us. Why don't you come here and click here to see real business credit approvals, and we lead them to our website to give us more credibility. Okay, so this is really a combination of these kind of emails from this point on. Newsjacker, which again comes back to a reputable news space like a news source like Entrepreneur, Wall Street Journal, etc. And then we have short videos, okay? And then we have webinars that we push to as well. Then we have call to action, like asking them to get into a consultation here as well. Okay, then we have what are called info emails. An info email is just a longer form email typically with just information that just teaches them something. Okay, 5 easy ways to manage your information online. Okay, this is a longer form email, but again, we're giving it to them in all different forms. Very short emails, long emails, video emails, call to actions like consultations, okay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that is sales funnel training. And hopefully you get an idea. You now know what sales funnels are, why they work, what they can do for you. You now looked at least 8 to 10 different kinds of emails that you could put in your sales funnel. You know what an indoctrination sequence looks like. You know how to give people easy wins, how to format your emails. Some are long copy, some are short that link to emails. Some are newsjacker, which links to reputable sources that are talking about it as well. Some of these longer information info, some of them are getting them to follow us on social media or get exposed to our iTunes, as you can see this one is here, okay? So again, this is a good, well put together funnel. You can see here that these are all scheduled 3 days apart. So every 3 days we're sending them. You can see in the indoctrination sequence that we are sending this one, and then we are waiting 2 days to send the next one. So our indoctrination sequence spaces our emails out at 2 days, and when they get into our normal maintenance funnel, we send them out at 3 days. So I'm going to open this up. Do you have any questions that I can help answer for you? Now you've taken a crash course on funnels. You know why you need them, you know what they do, you know the kind of content you can put in them. You basically have everything you need to start designing your own funnel. And here's what I run into a lot of. People put this on the side because to build out what I have here would take you literally like months and months of sitting and writing content. But I need you to understand that I never had all this that you see here. I started by writing 4 emails. 4 emails is what I started with. And I sent 1 week 1, 1 week 2, 1 week 3, 1 week 4. Then the next month I wrote 4 emails. And then I put that as week 5 and 6, 7, and 8. I did this again and again and again. And eventually when I had enough content, I started to then shorten the gap. Instead of 7 days to get an email, it became 6 and 5 and 4 and 3. And then I had enough content to then start sending emails for years and years every few days. But it always started with 4 emails. And that's my advice to you, is that set time out once a month to just spend 1 hour and create as many of these as you can create and put them in your funnel. That's not hard, right? To spend 1 hour a month, or if you're even more ambitious, spend 1 hour a week. Film your videos, write your emails. It doesn't matter if you get 2 emails done or 4 or 5, just spend that hour. And if you do that once a week, then all of a sudden by the end of month 1, you've dedicated 4 hours to this. You have 15 different emails. If you're sending an email every 3 days, then that's enough to send it for, I don't know, like several weeks, right? Or beyond that. So again, why can I not figure out how many weeks like that is in 3 days? I don't even know why I'm stumped on that math. That's like 2 weeks. If you do 5 emails or in one setting. So again, you set apart an hour. How I first did this was I set an hour apart once a month. Then I realized I could set aside an hour once a week to do it and create more content and just write 3 emails. You see that a lot of them aren't long. Now my newest format is 1-minute videos. So it's super simple. I fire up my webcam, I teach a lesson for 1 minute, then I write a super short email that goes, hey, do you know how to get a 411 listing for your business? Well, click below in this video, 1-minute video, and figure out exact steps to get a 411 listing. Now my emails have like 15 words because all it says is I've got a 1-minute video that teaches that. Watch the 1-minute video. But the problem is some people like 1-minute videos. People like long videos. Some people like webinars. Some people like a lot of different formats, which is why I mix it up. So Corey says, if we purchase the ultimate package, will we get some of the content or use on our website? Yeah, you absolutely will. A lot of this funnel is already built for you with ultimate. It's already in there. The only thing it's not in there beyond what you see here is we took our best performing stuff and put it in ultimate. The only stuff's not in ultimate, stuff that didn't perform or stuff that we don't yet, stuff that didn't perform or stuff that we haven't tested yet, to answer your question. So I'm gonna wrap this up. If you have any other questions, please reach out to us and let us know. But now you know everything you need to know to build a sales funnel for your company. And if you have any other questions along the way, reach out to our partner success team. You can do that at the top right of your funnel at sweetlogin.com by just clicking contact us. You can access this by email or by phone. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully this helps. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks, everybody.